Welcome today to Insert Innovation, and we are here with Gary Crisp.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, founder, chairman, and CEO of Crisp Imaging. Gary, as I mentioned, we like to start off these interviews by asking the guests to tell us just a little bit about their background and who they are.
Okay.
And what segment they work in.
Yeah, so I was born on the south side of Chicago, Polish mother, German and English father. We moved out of there when I was 4, up into Marin County. So back in 63 to 72, lived in Marin County. 2 Cal brothers. Folks moved down to Southern California my freshman year, and I went to high school in Orange County and then Long Beach State. Got married, still married, 41 years, 3 kids. Had about a 20-year corporate career with 2 Fortune 100 companies, Unilever and PepsiCo. So moved around 11 times, was getting promoted pretty much every other year. And just learned a ton from there, and then wanted to become an entrepreneur. And so we moved back home, which was Orange County. We lived down in Corona Del Mar, and we started Crisp Imaging in 2002. So a lot of growth over the years, a lot of key learning. We've been very lucky as well. A lot of good things have happened.
Awesome.
So,
thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
And one of the biggest premises of this show is we like to talk about how innovation has enabled entrepreneurs, business owners, and executives to either overcome challenges, spark new ideas, into new markets, and just in general, how innovation has influenced all of us in our successes and challenges in business. So the remaining questions are sort of tap into that thesis.
Okay.
And the first one is, in your own words, how would you define innovation?
Well, innovation is basically new ideas, new products, creating new opportunities for customers to win, and whatever that product may look like. Coming from 260, $70 billion companies, we constantly had to innovate. Whether it was personal wash products or Frito-Lay products, you constantly had to innovate and create new products. That was the lifeblood of a company. Right. So that's been our lifeblood as well. Right. So for me, innovation is all about new thinking, out of the box thinking. What ultimately is going to serve the customer.
Gotcha. I think I read on the website a little bit about the vision for Crisp Imaging and how it is important to service customers.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how you've been able to innovate in the customer service aspect of the business?
Yeah, some of it's sort of basic, okay? If your whole company is aligned to taking care of the customer. So for example, in all of our stores, we have what's called the upside down triangle, which is who's ever closest to that customer, we all work for. Yeah. So the CEO is at the bottom, right? So you're working for your senior guys and gals, your managers, whether it's the driver, the billing, the sales, the product, that has to be exemplary to the customer. So that may not be innovative, but that's how we think. So we're not CEO-centric, production-centric. It's all about the customer. And from an innovation standpoint, it's really about providing ways to do that. Quicker delivery service, better product, the best possible equipment, so your product's second to none. Right. So just ways to block and tackle each day for your customers has been huge to our success, because so much of that doesn't happen today. Picking up the phone.
That's right.
Having a real voice.
Right.
Knowing who your folks are. Right. Some of that's old school, some of it's not, but that sort of made a difference for us.
Right. Those fundamentals.
Fundamentals, yeah.
And then what ways has innovation specifically, if it's had, played a role in your career and helped you attain goals in life? Yeah,
so I'm a constant learner. I read 5 to 10 books a month. Okay, actually on audio, all kind of books. A lot of times I'll read books that are maybe different than I think, and they really help me learn about the other person. So, I think innovation is, personally, is to learn about yourself. Who are you? What motivates you? And by knowing yourself, what you project into the world, whether it's your coworkers, your family, your employees, you have a much better understanding and can lead them in a better way.
Yes.
From a product standpoint, we've entered the software arena with our DocuDoc product, which was very innovative for us in terms of the whole digital services side of our business, which is, we have our digital printing, reprographics and color, but then in our innovation bucket with products like DocuDoc, which is an archival tool. When the pandemic hit, we had some of our best years ever because we were innovative in terms of what we did to serve clients and keep everybody safe. So it's a constant part of who we are. We know we can't stay stagnant, and that's why we've done so well in the marketplace.
That's fantastic. Now, without giving out any trade secrets, what is your process for coming up with solutions and new ideas?
So it starts with, having the best people. I mean, we have 190 employees. At the top of the company, our C-suite, our executive board, are just very, very talented and solid people, as well as our consultants and our shareholders. So to me, it always starts with the people, having the best possible people, and then getting everybody in the room with a very open mind towards what do we need to do here. So I think part of it's tapping into your own folks, and then also, having the ability to be open to other ideas and listen, stay humble. I say humility and gratitude are the secret weapons. Stay humble so you can learn. Let the universe help you. Bring that stuff to you. And but that's been a big piece of it. When I think of our success during the pandemic, that was a very difficult time. Restaurants closed down. There's a lot of things going on. We all sat down, there's about 8 or 10 of us, and came up with a strategy to launch acrylics, directional signs, things along those lines, and sold millions and millions of dollars worth and took care of people. So it was a risk. Rolled the dice a little bit, bought a lot of equipment we didn't have, but we made it happen. So but it's all about the people, really, just getting the brightest people, the smartest people with good values, so you can trust them, and putting them in the room, and then having the courage to take the risks.
And I assume probably learning to have trust in some.
It's critical. People. I mean, I say, you hire values first. You hire somebody who's really talented and really smart, but they're doing the wrong things out there. That can put you in major trouble. So you have to be able to trust. Trust is at the center of our culture pyramid, which we have, which was developed to define our culture. And that's really the CEO's role in my job. In my view, it's the culture, the vision, the capability. In my case, I do a lot of M&A, but really the culture is something that's critically important to have a successful business.
Absolutely. Now, do you find yourself in a place where you recruit new people in? And are you able to identify some of these traits and characteristics that match or fit with the culture during that interview process, or is it something that you have a system for helping people to understand, and so they're then cultivated? Yeah, so
that's a great question. There's a couple pieces. The first is if it's a referral or somebody that's coming through, you look at where the source of the referral is, the experience the person may or may not have. We also will run on occasion tests. We've run the Briggs, the Divine test. We have a master's in spiritual psychology. There was something called the Insight Game, which basically tells you the DNA of what you got there. It's not a good or bad. There's never a judgment on it, but then you know what you got. So is it a better fit for this or that? Because half the battle is, you want the very best people, but you also want to put them in the right job. Right. I mean, so many times you have a great person in the wrong job. You don't understand them. So having that ability to get underneath the hood, know what you got, and then just loving on them, taking care of them, and creating opportunities so they can grow their lives and their families. So
and I'm assuming that provides them the incentive to perform the way.
We track, rank, and publish everything. We don't hide results; they're right there. But at the end of the day, it's a team effort. We win together, we lose together. It's not. it's very important that people feel supported, that they, little things like, since we started the company 22 years ago, every paycheck, there's a quote. And there's a range of stuff that goes into that quote, but that quote helps build the character of the company. Yep. So if people feel part of something bigger, they feel part of a bigger family. Right. And we have very, very low turnover. We have a lot of people that are 15 years plus, and we're only 22 years old. So, and pretty quickly in our culture, Ben, people will get weeded out if they're not doing the right things. Right. It's just sort of the way the culture works.
Right. That's fascinating. That's absolutely fascinating. And then the longevity of the team members is
it's
an amazing milestone.
Yeah, thank you. It's a team effort for sure. So,
can you tell us about a time when you thought of a better way to do something at work or in development of a plan or idea, and what you did to come to that solution?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Can you tell us about a time where you thought of a better way of doing something?
Okay.
And it could be an idea or developing a plan and how you got there.
Yeah, so one of the areas was growth. So we were, I come from the PepsiCo double-digit growth no matter what. You just got to grow, so that was in my mindset. That's always sort of been in my mindset. And in the reprographic space, which is a big piece of our business, there's less digital printing. There's still a lot of opportunity because the market share is very big in the West, which is primarily where our 24 stores are. But it was like, how do we continue to grow? What's the opportunity here? Because we have great people, we have, love our product mix and our opportunities. But, I learned along the way that, sometimes strategic acquisitions can help you grow a whole lot faster. And there's a lot of wonderful companies out of there that would love to be a part of CRISP. In fact, they're coming to us all the time. Wow. So over the last 3-4 years, we've acquired 13 businesses. We're so blessed because these businesses, in 20, 30, 40-year businesses, run brilliantly by families and are now part of our team. And we learn from them. That helped us launch heavily into the scanning business, which we weren't part of with one of them. I think of, we bought a beautiful company up in Seattle. We're all but the market leaders up there now, in Las Vegas, South Orange County. Central Coast, which we're a dominant player in, the high desert. So a lot of our growth has been through acquisitions the last few years, and then you couple that with innovation, like DocuDoc. We have a clothing line we're looking at right now, and there's several other in our what we call our fourth bucket, our innovation bucket, outside of color, reprographics, and digital services, and there's innovation. So, but that would be one. And I have many companies that have come to us and want us to acquire them. So there's sort of an order to it. I'm doing this the old-fashioned way with traditional banking. Right. So it's because we own most of the company, and that's the route we've taken. So
you're probably saying no more than you're saying yes to the acquisition inquiries.
Yeah, I don't say no. What I do is we have a process. So I have a very, very strong CFO, and he supports M&A. We had a consultant before, did a brilliant job for us, but we do it ourselves primarily today, and we look at the financials. It's not that complicated to us, because we've done it enough times and we know our markets, but you also have to be really smart, because a bad acquisition, especially a bad large one, could really harm you. Yeah. So we have a process we go through. You go and have a cup of coffee with the owners, get to know them personally, and then they get comfortable that their employees are going to be well taken care of, because that's the most important thing to somebody selling to you. Right. How do you, are you going to cut people? Are you going to take care of them? In most cases, virtually all cases, we've cut next to nobody, but they've been better off. They've gotten better pay, they've gotten better benefits, and so they're happy to be part of CRISP once they know who we are. At first they're a little afraid, but once they get to know who we are.
So it's a traditional acquisition in regards to the transaction, but it's more of a partnership in regards to how you relate to the actual businesses that you acquire.
Yeah, well, you're acquiring them, so you're buying them, but what happens is you're really focused on the customer. So in some cases you'll convert right away to CRISP because their brand may be the benefits of being crisp, or it might be the name of the company, a crisp company. You know, we did that recently with RGS in Las Vegas. It has a wonderful brand. DRSI up in Bellevue. They're both crisp companies, and at some point we'll convert them over when we feel very secure about the customer base. You don't want to risk that. That's what you're buying. So
fantastic, and very inspiring, by the way. Can you share a story about a time you were someone inspired by, had to come up with an innovative solution to overcome an obstacle or solve a problem?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the time of COVID when we were we were sitting in a circle. We're going, restaurants are closed. This is, you know, reprographic shops are needed because we're building hospitals and things that were related to COVID. And Eric Gaydon, one of our senior VPs, came up with an idea for, at the time it was the masks, you know, the clear ones, and this is a business we were never in. And so Eric's he's an excellent executive with us, and he came up with these ideas, and then the team got together and put together masks, directional signage. Then all of a sudden we said, well, how about the acrylics? So we ended up buying 5 of these cutters. We had one, and we went to town, up and down, and sold them. But we did it better. We were sort of the Nordstroms of it. We measured them, we placed them, we serviced them. We were a little bit more expensive, but we got it right. But if that wouldn't have started from Eric's first idea, that was an example where we took something and we ended up really taking to the next level, which really protected the company in a difficult period. Wow. So amazing.
And what new innovations do you think will shake up your industry in the next 5 years?
They already are, and they already are. You know, in many cases, technology, which we have a tremendous amount of technology within our company, has changed the way people order, especially if you look at the construction side of the reprographics business. We still do a ton of business, millions and millions in that. But for example, large general contractors now use technology to do the bid solicitation process. So in the old days, a project like, you know, SoFi Stadium or some of the bigger projects that we have, they might send to 4,000 subs big rolls of plans. None of that's done today. That's all electronically. So we'll manage the electronic process for them, and they might send out one, or none, or you'll do color. You'll do color work throughout the project, but it's just different. So you have to be able to adapt, to change, to move, constantly looking at ways to grow your brand through new products, and we're very open. I mean, we're open to things that are outside of our core 4 things. Right. You know, we're constantly looking at things. How can we incorporate this crisp brand? You know, I've been drinking this Liquid Death. It is a fantastic product. I'm reading it. You know, it's funny, right? I'm reading it, but I love it. It's only 20 calories. It tastes great. I mean, what about crisp on that can? You know, exactly. Who knows? You know what the next thing might be. But we're primarily in the digital printing space, and we do a whole bunch of things in that. But we got a lot of room to grow there too.
Awesome. Now, who's your favorite innovator?
The ones that sort of move me are the ones that move big things. Like, and I think of Elon Musk, or I think of what Richard Virgin.
One of my favorites.
The guys or gals are doing really big things. I also look at innovators in the area of consciousness too. So people who move mountains inside of us. That's another way spiritually. I read a lot of books that are related to that. I'm Catholic by birth, and love my faith, but I'm constantly growing inside of myself as well. So innovation comes in a lot of forms. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, it comes in new products, new ways to do things. So we're constantly looking at that as well. But sort of the major movers are interesting to me, how they do that and how they think like that. They're sort of from a different place.
And I think it stems from a point you said earlier about thinking outside the box. Sort of dreaming big. There's a saying, if the dream isn't big enough, it's not even worth pursuing.
You know, and that's from the inner work. You know, the executive team of my company, each meeting has to read a new book and report it to the group.
Wow.
So mindset was what we just did. Are you growth, or, right?
Yep.
Are you in a growth, or are you stuck, right?
Right.
And so you look at those. We don't want to be stuck anywhere. We don't want to be fixed.
Right.
We want people that are thinking growth and pushing growth, and you know. And by doing that, it's a completely different way to work, you
Right.
know. So, you know, being on a show like this is fun for me. It's interesting, different.
Yeah.
What can I learn in here? How can I help others? I'm looking at your audience, potentially kids and students. How can I help them?
That's right.
You know, I'm a social worker at heart, so I like to do that.
That's fantastic. And a good segue to the next question. So, do you have any